Hey guys, welcome back to our non-toxic podcast from my living room. I have so much footage to edit out unnecessarily from the beginning of me trying to adjust and figure out how to appropriately sit so that my bare feet aren't visible to traumatize all of you. But I solved the problem by wearing my slippers. They don't match my pajamas, but please don't hold that against me. I'm always out of breath whenever I start recording because I'm so excited to be chatting with you. Also, the reason that I'm out of breath is because I had a mad dash to get this whole setup done and prepared so I could actually record an emergency Christmas episode. I will catch my breath, I promise, at some point during this. So it's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. I'm going to try and release this episode today because it feels blasphemous of me to try and release an episode on Christmas Day. That's not the most important thing, obviously. But I also don't want to wait until after Christmas because it feels like this whole setup would be a waste. So here I am, Christmas Eve day. I've had a fantastic day so far. I woke up. Also, I should note that I am fending off an illness. I don't think that I'm sick. I think I've narrowly avoided being sick, but here's what's transpired. I know everyone and their mother and their dog and their cousin and their uncle and their attorney is sick right now. And I don't have the time for that. And I know everyone around this time of year does not have the time for that. No one has it in them to be sick. No one has the room in their schedule to be sick. But I started to feel this come over me whenever I was coming back from a job that I did down in Arkansas this weekend. And I had that like ache that settles into your bones where you're like, oh no, I don't have time for this. I could not feel bad. So I came home, I took a nap, I took a ton of vitamin C, zinc, Zicam, everything I could think to take. And for the most part, I think I've avoided actually getting sick, but I have not been able to avoid the congestion settling in. I didn't get a fever. I've never actually felt terrible, but I had the sinus pressure. I've taken so much Sudafed that there's basically a meth lab inside my body right now. That's just a joke. But that took away the sinus pressure, and now my nose is like a runny, disgusting faucet. So if you see me reaching for the tissues that I have strategically placed just out of camera, then mind your business. We are all sick, and none of us have time for it. Also, I'm so sorry for my annoying voice. Whenever you're sick, it can go one of two ways. There's the first way where you have this like beautiful, sexy rasp, and your throat is so gravelly, and it just sounds like you've like smoked a pack a day, and you're a Hollywood movie star, blah, blah, blah. Then there's the other half where it just sounds like you are stuffed up, and that's really annoying to listen to, but this is what we're working with today, so please bear with me. Also, please note the new setup. I officially have a pod box, which I'm not going to mess with. That's not what it's called, by the way. It's like a recording device. I don't know the official term for it, but I have one that's portable that I can actually take with me and use. I have a wireless. This is so clearly not wireless. I have a wired microphone that is a little bit higher quality than the one that I was using whenever I recorded from home, and my headphones are over here, but I didn't want to take my headband off because later I have to go back and finish my makeup. I've only done half of it, but I really wanted to talk to you guys. So we're recording from my living room, like I just took 3 minutes to get back around to. Here's what I've done so far today. I woke up surprisingly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, probably because of the holidays, because I'm still a child at heart, and jumped out of bed after harassing my husband to wake up on the day that he did not have to. Came into the living room, made some coffee, drank my coffee while I was doing Bible study, which has been so transformative for me, but this is not an episode to talk about deep spiritual things. This is a fun, holiday, relatable, girly episode. So more on that later, a different day. I'm doing my Bible study, I'm sipping my coffee, something's not right. It's not tasting good. There's something off. And this is my favorite creamer. This is like a sugary creamer that I have not for a while let myself drink because I had an epiphany where I realized how much sugar I was drinking just in my daily coffee creamers. So for holidays, for special occasions, for Treat Yourself Friday, I'll delve back into my sugary coffee creamer collection. Those of you who have been with me for a long time know how much I love to experiment and try new coffee creamers, so that was really a sad subtraction from my life. But you know what? Health is most important, I am told. So I had my coffee creamer, I'm sipping it, and it just kind of skunky. There's something that's not right. And eventually, after like trying to muster it down for 3/4 of the coffee, then I go and look at the label, and it was expired. So this is an all-natural, quote-unquote, creamer, where it actually has dairy in it. And previously I was drinking Coffee Mate or Nestle, and I don't know if you guys have ever read those labels because they're not dairy. They have sugar and water in them. So that's why they stay good for so long, which should have been a red flag for me months ago whenever I was drinking so many of them, but it was not because I didn't read labels. And now I have been enlightened and it's ruining my life. Anywho, I drank expired creamer. It upset my stomach. It was not good. I had a piece of buttered toast to settle it down. And Austin went to go get me a better coffee, so here we have it. ASMR. This is a gingerbread latte from Urban Grounds. Delectable. So, as you can see, sometimes we have a change of scenery, but we still have all of the fun staples that make this our non-toxic podcast. After I did my Bible study, I came over here to the couch. I put on jazz ambiance like I always do, and I did some work as much as I could possibly muster with the excitement of Christmas looming over my head. And it really wasn't imperative work. It was just replying to a few emails, doing a couple things. So if I don't get right back to work on the 26th, then it's not going to be like I'm avoiding people forever. So I crossed a few T's, dotted a few I's, got ready for the gym, went to the gym. I did my first workout since Friday, I believe, because that's whenever I started to feel kind of lousy, was Saturday. And I just didn't want to push my body to the point that my Oura ring was mad at me more than it already has been. Because I woke up on Sunday with a readiness score, I think, of like 40. And that's the lowest readiness score I've ever had in my entire life, my Oura ring life. And it was just like something's straining your body temperature is high and your heart rate is high and whatever else, your sleep is bad. And I was like, thank you. I know all these things. So I took it easy. It's really not that important if I get to the gym all of those days. And I went back today. For some reason, it was the most jam-packed. Sorry, disregard that. I'm not sick. It was the most jam-packed that it has been in weeks. Everyone wants to work out on Christmas Eve. I hate to break it to you guys, but Santa has already been watching and there's no ground to make up for now. But I just did a little light workout because I have to get back into it. You can't just jump back in full speed, I tell myself. So that felt great. Came back, showered, blow-dried my hair. That's why it's especially flippy right now. And I did half my makeup, but I'm going to do the other half later because I have a lot of fun doing my makeup for Christmas Eve, and I didn't want to rush through it because Austin's out doing meetings right now, and I feel less self-conscious talking to myself in the living room when he's not home. Now you're caught up on everything I've done today. I want to talk to you guys about the whiplash that I have this holiday season. And I was listening to the podcast episode that Brie and I did this time last year, talking about how we didn't feel especially holly jolly. And I think a lot of that was because we had both been going through some traumatic things, Brie with her dad, me just coming off of the miscarriage. It was a really not fun time for either of us. So that made sense as to why we were not very holly jolly. And the episode the year prior to that was very fun. It was super festive. It was a little bucket list. That one was super cute. But this year, I haven't recorded an episode about Christmas. And that just has to do with the timing of whenever I came back to recording after the hiatus and everything else. And I wanted to, but I also have not really felt super seasonal, and not in a depressed way, and just like I like my regular flavor of life stuff. So let me give you an example. I have been rewatching Gossip Girl. I got rehooked on it after I watched the Thanksgiving episodes and just never stopped. So I've been on an entire full Gossip Girl rewatch, and it's been so nice. But I watch it every day whenever I'm getting ready. I have my little iPad set up in front of my vanity, so I'm watching it. I watch it at night before I go to bed. Austin watches it by proxy. He would deny it if you ever asked him, but he's been asking follow-up questions. He's invested in the storylines. So Gossip Girl has just been my favorite piece of media, and I keep telling myself, watch a Christmas movie, watch Christmas episodes, watch something festive, because Christmas is fleeting and Gossip Girl is there all year round. But I just can't bring myself to, because Gossip Girl is bringing me so much joy. That's a very silly example, but just in a lot of ways, I haven't really felt like doing a crazy festive activity. Like Austin made hot chocolate last night just because it was Christmas Eve and we thought it would be fun. But even then we talked about watching a Christmas movie or doing something to celebrate the season, and we just didn't. So we watched our regular TV show, and which is The Magicians currently, in case you're wondering. We also have the added pressure of it being taken off of Netflix very soon. So we're really trying to make up some ground on our show. I know you guys understand the stakes here. It's very serious. So we made some hot chocolate, but that's really been it. I don't really know how to explain it, because it's not as though I'm in the place where I was last year, where I desperately wanted to have that holiday spark and feel so fun and festive, and I just don't have it. This year I'm enjoying Christmas like as a fun addition, but it's not really all consuming. And I haven't listened to Christmas music except for whenever I've been shopping in stores or different things, but I don't know, I just haven't really felt especially festive, but in an okay way. I've been wearing Christmas pajamas every single day, and I have been working in the living room listening to Christmas jazz rather than in my office. So I guess that's my change of scenery. But as far as active changes to the media that I consume or anything else, I have not been doing that very much. And I think that's okay. It just has felt like we jumped onto one of those things in Mario Kart where it accelerates you like double speed, and I have no idea where the time has gone. time usually passes pretty quickly. I've talked about that ad nauseum on this podcast, but it feels like from, I don't know, maybe, well, really the whole year, but it feels like from October to now, really Halloween, it has just flown by. And I don't know how to catch up. Like my brain still thinks that it's the beginning of December. And I think that's part of the reason that I'm not like overwhelmed with jolliness is because I feel like Thanksgiving just happened. I genuinely feel like that was last week. And I feel like I just went Black Friday shopping. Even the other day I was doing my makeup and I'm like, why are my roots looking a little bit brown? Like how are they already fading? Why is the hair dye fading? It's black. And then I realized, oh, it's been a month since I dyed my hair. And that just seems unfathomable to me that I have already had black hair for a month because I feel like I just made that decision to do it yesterday. So naturally, I'm reeling. I can't catch up. My concept of time has always been a little distorted due to my poor grasp on reality. But it's just been so bad this year that I feel like I have whiplash. And the gifts that I have this year, I think they're good for all the people that I love, but I don't feel like they're especially fun. They're very utilitarian. They're things that I know people will use and appreciate, but usually I go off book. I'm one of those annoying people that will not ask you for a Christmas list because I just want to get you a surprise. I want to get you what I want to get you because I love to give gifts, and it's less fun if someone knows exactly what they're getting. But this year I did go more list-based, and I have some things that are more of a surprise, but I don't know. I was talking to a friend about this yesterday, and we were just talking about how sometimes you have a Christmas season where you're a curator, and that's her word, it's great. And you curate gifts and you make it so special and so thoughtful, and you spend months planning for it, and you're like looking forward to each person opening their gift. And this year I feel like it was very much like, hey, what do you want? And of course I'm glad to get people things that they want and will actually use, and the people in my life are probably relieved that I'm doing that strategy this year as well. But I don't know, it feels like my heart has just been less focused on the shopping part this year, and I don't know how to explain that. So I'm happy that we get to open presents, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see my mom open this thing that I made. And maybe that's depressing. It doesn't feel sad because we made a lot of Christmas memories together. For example, my mom and grandma and I have been having movie nights once a week. We watch those cheesy movies that are on Netflix and just have girl dinner. We have price cutter sushi and chocolate bars, and it's fantastic. So we've been making a lot of fun memories, but it just feels like it's less of a permanent fixture of my day, if that makes sense. Like I'm not doing something festive every day, which at one point I did do. So I'm kind of coming to terms with the fact that I'm just celebrating it differently this year. And I'm having like a weird crisis where it just feels so temporary because time is going by so quickly that I'm not able to appreciate it as much, because I put up the Christmas decorations right after Thanksgiving. And normally I would put all the Thanksgiving stuff, all the fall stuff, and the everyday stuff back into the closet and reorganize it because I know Christmas is here for a while. And perhaps it's because Thanksgiving was so late this year. Perhaps I'm just losing my grasp on reality. But I chose not to put all the Thanksgiving and everyday stuff back away. So it's just strewn across my guest room. It's like a mess. It's got fake plants. It looks like the back room of a TJ Maxx because that's where I got all my stuff from. But it's just a disaster in there. And I can feel it like looming in the back of my head that I have to redo it and put it back together. But I almost feel like, well, why wouldn't I just wait until Christmas is over, because it's almost over and I could just put my decorations away at one time versus putting the fall stuff away, then enjoying Christmas, and then putting the Christmas stuff away in due time. But I think it's felt fleeting since the beginning, like since I put everything away, since I took everything out, I guess, the first time. So I know now it's obviously December 24th. It would make no sense to reorganize everything now because I'll be taking it down in 2 to 4 days. However, it's felt that way the whole time, and I think that's what's messing with me. So I know I'm rambling today, but this is going to be about Christmas chaos. So the chaos extends to my brain. And I was thinking yesterday as I was doing some last minute Christmas shopping, which, by the way, going out on Christmas Eve I knew would be a disaster, but I had no idea the mental limits that it would push me to. I had no idea that it would be like walking across the threshold to hell itself, disguised as a Barnes & Noble. It was a disaster. Even getting into the parking lot was like a life-altering quest. I feel like I should have been knighted just for getting into the Barnes & Noble parking lot on December 23rd. Granted, it was because of my own poor planning and lack of preparation, so I can be mad at no one but myself. But that's neither here nor there. This is my podcast, and I choose not to take responsibility. So I did a bunch of stuff yesterday, came back home, regrouped, popped a Xanax. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I don't have a Xanax prescription, nor do I buy them illegally. So I came home, did a meditation. I also didn't do that, but whatever. I scrolled TikTok for 25 minutes until I calmed down. Okay? Is that the answer you wanted? And then I was thinking, and I regret even thinking it, that I was just ready for Christmas to be over. And that's just a sad thing to say. It sounds so Scroogey, but I don't know where it came from because I, on a religious level, am having a great time going through this Advent devotional. I feel like it's taught me so much more than I ever have learned from these Advent things in years past. It's not that. I've been making good memories with my family. It's not that. I'm not depressed, contrary to my recent hair decisions. So I feel good in most aspects of life. I think it's just that my regular life is in a good place with my routines, with what I do throughout the week, with the clients I work with. So it's not like I'm dreading when the holidays are over, so I have to go back to my regular life. I'm almost looking forward to it. And just the fleeting nature of the holidays, like knowing I have to put the stuff away, knowing that in a couple days the gifts will get unpacked and put away, you'll not have anyone else to shop for. I think I just can feel the end of the season, and more than other years, I'm just like, whatever, it's almost over. And I've always liked Thanksgiving more because it feels like the beginning of the holiday season versus Christmas being the end. So I always feel more festive, like skewed towards Thanksgiving than skewed towards Christmas, because even Christmas Day, you wake up and, at least for me, that's the last day of festivities. Like, we're done. I put the tree away. My mom has always been the kind of person that, excuse me, I hiccuped, that Christmas afternoon, she puts the tree away, everything is gone, the house is clean, and I never minded that. I actually quite preferred that because then the house is like back to being tidy. It feels like you can resume your life. And that's the same way I am as a grown-up, is if I leave my Christmas stuff up, I'll leave it up for a day or two. Like, I don't really take it down on Christmas Day because we're typically busy all day, but I'll take it down by this weekend for sure. And it sounds kind of sad, like just to throw everything back in the box and be like, that's it, see you next year, Santa. But it makes me feel like it's not looming over my head anymore. So if I were to leave all my stuff out, I think that I would start to feel overwhelmed, like not in a good way, because I would know that everything has to still be done. And even though my husband is delightful and very helpful in many ways, putting things into an organized system and fitting them into a very small closet is not one of the ways. So it does fall onto me. He would help me if I asked him to. It would just make everything worse, including our marriage. So I don't do that. And it's not bad. I'll put on a podcast. I'll think about my New Year's resolutions, which I'm actually going to make this year, and put everything away and organize and vacuum all the garland and glitter shrapnel off my floor. I actually do make a whole day out of it. So maybe you guys don't want to hear about how I post Christmas, but let's talk about it anyways. So if you're listening to this at some point after Christmas, this will be perfect. If you're trying to listen to it pre-Christmas, just bear with me. Maybe hit pause, go listen to somebody who's more festive, and then come back to me in a couple days whenever you're ready for this. But after Christmas, I have a whole system. So you have all your clothes, try them on, make your husband try them on, make your kids try them on, do everything you have to do to get all your clothes into piles of what fits, what doesn't. Hopefully you have receipts. Again, I'm not sick. Okay. Hopefully you have receipts, you know what fits and what doesn't. And then the stuff that fits, take the tags off, wash them. I should say, read the instructions, wash them how they're supposed to be washed. Typically I don't do that. I wash the whites separately and the colored stuff separately. But even like my dry clean only things, which are very, very few and far between, and none of them are purchased for myself, straight into the washer, okay? Tumble dry, take it out, we'll see if it still fits. If it doesn't, it wasn't meant to be anyways. So you wash all your stuff, you go through, you take all of your items out of their packaging, cut tags off, peel the stickers off, scrub the little sticky stuff off, and put everything away. So I usually make this an entire day, and I am so manic that I don't sit down. I probably will break a sweat. I will be looking atrocious because everyone knows you're bloated after Christmas. You don't want to do your full hair and makeup because you've just probably done that for the past couple days. You're ready to just move forward. So I'm cleaning the whole day. I'll start in the closet because that's where we pile all of our Christmas stuff, and I organize it. So what stuff goes into my office? The new pens, the new highlighters that I probably will get from my mom because she knows me so well. The clothes, the makeup, things that go in the closet, and so on and so forth. I'll take everything to the room once it's all undone of all packaging, will break down boxes, throw that stuff away, and then I clean. So I have this weird complex that I've always had where I can't bring clothes or items into a room or a space that's not clean. So it's like I have to make a good impression on my new items. So before I can really use my Christmas stuff, I have to clean the house. So once everything's put into the room that needs to go in, I'll clean the floors, clean the bathrooms, clean the kitchen, clean everything. And like I said before, there's always Christmas shrapnel around. There's always like just glitter and holly berries and sprigs of fake garland from Hobby Lobby that just fall down that you have to do something with. So that's whenever I take care of all of those ancillary things. When the house is finally clean, then I'll put all my stuff away in the place it will live forever. Everything has a home, everything has a place. Then I take an everything shower because you're probably covered in a layer of soot, even though we have an electric fireplace, grease from the kitchen, you've got germs from all the gifts, that weird papery feeling you get from handling cardboard, like it just gets nasty. So once you take an everything shower, you're probably thoroughly exhausted, so I will go to sleep. That's typically how I spend one of the days following Christmas before I get into New Year's mode. And similarly to bringing things home, I feel like I can't make new goals or do like a life rebrand until I feel like my life is together. So once I have all that stuff done, then I can get on Pinterest, maybe have like a hot tea, relax, be physically just depleted, and then think about the upcoming year, what I want to do, goals I want to set, and so forth. That's how I will be spending one of the days to come, and I'm actually very excited for that. I think it just has felt like I'm holding on to the bumper of a truck. I've used this analogy so many times. Holding onto the bumper of a truck, it's dragging me behind, and I need to get in the driver's seat. No one's driving the car. It's going 95 miles an hour. It's a gravel road. I'm holding on with one hand, and I need to somehow get back in the driver's seat. That's the level of anxiety I feel like I'm trying to contend with right now during the holidays. So in my mind, I've put this day of reset onto a pedestal so that whenever I finally get there, I will feel maybe like I'm at least in the bed of the truck, not the driver's seat, but the bed of the truck. And that's because we go on vacation in January, which is going to be so amazing. I'm so excited, but I just always feel this extra pressure because whenever we go on vacation, I don't like to be on my phone. I don't like to work if I don't have to. So all the work has to be done beforehand. So all of the pressure of the holidays to give gifts, wrap gifts, attend parties, decorate your house, blah, blah, blah. You guys are women. I don't have to tell you what you already know. It's very chaotic. A lot of people depend on you. Then I have this in the back of my head that we're about to go on a vacation where I won't be on my computer. I won't be working. I have to schedule all these posts for basically the entire month of January before I leave. So somehow between now and January 5th, I have to figure out how to get all of January's work done, which is exhausting. So I try and shut that part out and be like, that's tomorrow's problem. I'll address that after I finish up Christmas stuff. I just want to enjoy everything while it's here. Unfortunately, it's hard to shut that out because I'm not the kind of person. It's like on this one side, I'm staring straight ahead. There's this one person like staring me directly in the face. They're right here. This is all the Christmas stuff that has to be done. This is everyone who needs something from me. This is taking my Christmas decor down and cleaning the house right here, this close to my face, and I'm not making eye contact. Then on the other side, I have vacation. I want to go back to the gym, hopefully not be so bloated from all the Christmas cookies I've had. I have posts to schedule. I've got like 70 things that I have to make content-wise. I've got emails to reply to, blah, blah, blah. That's this person over here. They're both like so close to my face that their noses are touching me, but I cannot look at either of them because I'm trying to enjoy the moment. So I'm too funny for my own good. I keep making myself cough. That's pretty much what we're looking at. That's me trying to stay on top of things and kind of succeeding and kind of not, because I have enjoyed the holiday season. It's just been in a fight or flight mode, which is so crazy to say because I live in an advanced civilization. No one's hunting me down and trying to eat me. I live in an air-conditioned and heated home. I've got gifts under the tree. There's literally nothing for me to be in fight or flight mode about at all. We just manufacture our own stress. So again, yesterday, as I'm thinking and having all these epiphanies, because I had died and been reborn in the Walmart parking lot on Christmas Eve because it was that chaotic, I was then thinking, okay, listen, girl, get yourself together. There will be a day very soon, probably in January, when you come back home from your trip, you unpack everything, you do the laundry, you do yet another reset because they give you the illusion of thinking that you have control over your own life, even though none of us knows what's about to happen ever. So I will do that. I will sit down and I will have nothing ahead of me. I will have no trips to prepare for. I will have no months to get ahead for. I will have no gifts to shop for. I will have nothing. And am I going to be not stressed that day? No, because I have a disorder. But I will be less stressed, and that day is not that far away. And between then are so many fun things. So between now and the day that I will inevitably be less stressed due to fewer obligations and things on my plate, I will have Christmas with my family, whom I love so much. I will have made memories. I will have gone on vacation with my in-laws, whom I love so much. So why would I spend this time in this short little window with so many good memories to be made and so many fun things that are yet to happen, trying to jump to that point when there's nothing to look forward to as big and exciting as these things? And at that point I said, I need therapy or a very strong sedative. But since neither of those are available to me immediately, I said, I'm just gonna get it together. So last night I did like a pre-Christmas clean. Austin and I exchanged gifts to each other. He knocked it out of the park. He did amazing. More on that later. But I did a pre-clean. I did everything shower except for washing my hair because I saved that for today. I journaled, got my thoughts on paper because second to talking to you guys, journaling does help me get the crazy thoughts out of my head and into the world where they belong. And that was it. I finished editing 2 YouTube videos that were embarrassingly old. One of them was before Thanksgiving. It was reacclimating from my trip that I took for my birthday, which is a long time ago. And then the Thanksgiving week video, which I had those filmed and almost all the way edited, but I hadn't had the time from Thanksgiving and then traveling and just a billion things like we all are dealing with. And it's been like another small thing that's in the back of my head, like, oh my gosh, you haven't filmed a new video because you have 2 that are in the backlog. So you're neglecting this channel that, let's be honest, even my 78 subscribers are not that concerned about when I'm going to post next. So it's not like I'm keeping anybody waiting on pins and needles, but it's important to me. And I feel like I can't be inspired and make a new video because I have this backlog of content. And I thought about just scrapping it and saying, okay, well, I didn't edit it now in time, so I might as well just throw it away and I'll start again. I don't even have the same hair color as I did whenever I filmed those. But then I was thinking of past me, so idealistic, so hopeful, talking to the camera, saying all these things, and what would I be doing to her if I just threw all that away and scrapped the footage and didn't edit it and didn't allow the 38 people who will probably watch it to watch it? So I did it for her. I finished the videos. I posted them last night. Honestly, like I've said a million times, I don't care about engagement or following on YouTube. It's just fun to make and fun to have that little archive, especially the Thanksgiving one. I think it'll be joyful for me to look back on that in the future and be like, oh my gosh, that was how Thanksgiving was at that point in my life. And I do wish I had filmed more for the Christmas season. But to be honest, I was just had too much going on. I did a few days of Vlogmas, like a fun little voiceover video, and those are fun. I just, you get behind on one day and it's game over. You cannot catch back up. So I have one that I still need to post. It just feels odd to post one, like a recap of a random Tuesday and post it on Christmas Eve. I don't know. I'll post it just for kicks later because I already filmed it. But between that and bringing the podcast back and trying to work ahead for January and trying to Christmas shop, it was just not in the cards for me to do that. And even though I do love making content, if I'm being completely honest, no one's like holding their breath and waiting for me to put something out. And if anyone were like, please upload something, I think it would be with the podcast. So I want this to be my primary focus as far as energy goes. That's why I'm here in my pajamas recording for you on Christmas Eve. This is very skewed. I'm so sorry this is such a disaster as far as organization, but this is where we're at. Let me sip my coffee so I can maybe make a coherent thought. Anyways, let me read my outline and see if maybe past me had something wise to say. No, I actually said everything I wanted to say. I don't know. I feel like I can't even begin to fathom the stress that moms of young children, actually moms of older children probably have it worse, because if I had kids that were like 9 to 13, I think I would be the most stressed out because they have all these obscure interests. They're active. They still have things to do. They're home. They need to be entertained. They can't drive themselves. I'm praying for you guys the most. Parents of newborns and infants, you guys are a close second. Toddlers, again, get in line. There's just so many things that you guys have to be stressed about. And luckily I don't, but I've still found ways to like gray my own hair in this time. But that's okay. I am trying to enjoy the season that we have with the utmost holly jolliness, even though it's about to go away. So what's the point of rushing through it? I will be probably in like 2 blinks of an eye waking up on Thursday morning, because that's the speed at which time seems to pass these days. And then I'll look at this tree for the last time and think, oh my gosh, I don't get to see my Spider-Man ornament, or I don't get to see anything else that I love so much. And just the warm vibe that I've curated for this holiday season is going to be no more. And even though I do love the feeling of a clean home after everything goes away, there's something weird that happens whenever I put all the Christmas decorations away and clean everything, and the house just feels so spacious and empty because there's so much everywhere right now, that whenever it goes away, it just feels like, I don't know, there's a lot of empty space left. So I will be sad about that. I know that when the day comes, I'll be like, oh my gosh, Christmas was like 2 clicks of a heel and then we're here. But you really can't go back. And I think that I've done enough this season to look back on and, have holiday memories to commemorate 2024 with. But I also don't feel like there's anything else outstanding on my bucket list that I need to do, which is a good place to be in. I'm actually very excited for the concept of a new year, for making new goals. I have a fun episode already written up for you guys for prepping for the new year, for New Year's resolutions. I'm just on a big self-improvement and growth kick lately. I've been feeling so inspired. I've been loving routine. I've been loving order, which, as we all know, loving order is a cry for help. Maybe not in your life, but in mine. The more organized I am, it usually has like an inverse trend to my mental health. So if I'm like plummeting, I will be hitting everything in the gym. I will be eating clean, meal prepping. I will be so organized. I'll have a paper planner and a calendar, everything. So it is like a desperate attempt to regain control of one's life, at least whenever I am one. But that's okay because I love it. And this is a big improvement from last year where I didn't set any New Year's resolutions because I was in survival mode. So we'll get into that in a different episode. But all that to say, I'm very excited for what's to come. I'm excited for my friendships. I'm excited for my relationships with my family, with my husband. I think everything is in like a very good, fruitful place. I'm excited for a new year with everyone. I feel very inspired for the podcast and all my other content creation endeavors, be spread out as they may. But I'm excited about it. So I just think that if you're in the same boat as I am, where you feel overwhelmed with this holiday season and maybe you're like wishing it away, or you don't feel like you've done enough, or you don't know what's wrong with you, where you're not locked in to Christmas like you feel like you should be, that's okay. It's just a season. And this is not to talk about the religious aspect, because in the religious aspect, clearly it's the most important thing in anyone's life. It's the birth of Jesus. It's special, important, world-changing, soul-changing, everything. But this isn't an episode to talk about that. There will be another one where I really do want to dive into all the things that I've been learning through my Bible study, and hopefully you'll listen to it if you feel comfortable. And honestly, if you don't feel comfortable, maybe you should give it a listen too, because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. I just speak from the heart, and I speak about my relationship with God, and maybe parts of it will resonate with you. And I am always open to any kind of conversation. I will answer what I can about faith. I had a really great conversation with a listener the other day where they were just asking me honest questions about religion and faith and the Bible. And I will be the first to say that I don't have any theological background to stand on, unless you count years of Sunday school and vacation Bible school, which you probably don't, due to the overwhelming number of hand puppets used. But I will tell you what I know, what I've experienced, and what I know about God and how he's impacted my life. So if you ever want to have that conversation, then my DMs are always open. Just don't expect like a super poignant answer. It will be a heartfelt answer, but it might not be something you can necessarily expect to get published in a scholarly journal, because I have mental limitations and I'm very aware of them. That was kind of a side tangent, but anyways, to that listener who reached out to me, if you're listening to this, I'm so happy that you did. It was very honoring and flattering to me that you would trust me with such a vulnerable conversation and topic, and I really hope that something that I said resonated with you or was something that you needed to hear, and my DMs are always open for you as well. So, listeners, thanks for tuning in. I know this was a cluster. It was very, very representative of my life lately. Stuffed nose, chaos, messy house. Actually, I'm not going to lie. My house is very clean right now. But remember what I said about order being representative of my mental state in a not good way. But I'm happy. I'm just scattered. Also, I listened to that previous episode with Brie and I gave myself a headache. I was trying to listen to myself speak. And this happens whenever I make those voiceover videos. I don't speed myself up. I don't try and talk fast. It just comes out so quickly. And whenever I listen to myself, I give myself a headache. And I'm like, what did you just say? So in this podcast episode, I've been trying to reel myself back in and take it slower. It's just that I don't have the ability to. I apologize. Maybe you can put me on like 0.75 mode and not regular speed if you're on Spotify, because I do be talking fast. And I apologize for that. But I know this is a shorter episode. I just wanted to film something that I could get to you guys, that we could talk about Christmas and I could introduce my little home setup and do something fun with Christmas pajamas, because they have been a cornerstone of my existence lately. But I don't have anything super important to say. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. I hope you've enjoyed coming with me into my home, and I hope that you're about to have a wonderful Christmas Eve. I'm about to go and get ready for Christmas Eve church service. Then we split Christmas Eve with my family, and then halfway through the night we go to Austin's family. Then tomorrow we do breakfast with my family, come home, take a power nap, sleep off some carbs, make some room, then go to Austin's family's house for the rest of the night. So it'll be a really fun time. Also, there will be a very exciting New Year's giveaway coming soon with a local hotel called the Moxie. I don't know why I just had an accent whenever I said that, but with a local hotel called the Moxie, and it's something that you don't want to miss. So that's a little heads up for podcast listeners. It will be launched on my Instagram on Friday. The winner will be drawn Monday. So if you're still looking for New Year's plans, check out the giveaway. Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry that I am who I am as a person, but apparently some of you seem to enjoy it because you tune back in week after week. But Merry Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have all mountains, no valleys this holiday season. I hope you take advantage of all the Christmas specials while they last. I hope that you get what's on your Christmas list. I hope that you get what's on your heart. I hope that you get confessions of love from someone that you really hope will confess their love for you, and not from someone that you don't. So here's to Hallmark movie plots playing themselves out in your life. I love you guys. Treat yourself on Friday. I will see you next week. Bye.